Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Sitting on the big red couch is our very good friend, comedian Ross McCoy.
I'm here. My voice isn't.
Yeah, but it'll warm up. It'll warm up. The more you scream, the more it'll come back. We just got off the Tom and Dan cruise. For those of you that are listening to this, hopefully you can go back and hear we did a show on Friday live from the boat.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun. We got to upload it. Via cell phone. What a time to be alive, right? Where you can beam your MP3s via your cell phone to a radio station and have it go out. Pretty cool. But
we were kind of inebriated when we did that recording, and then after we got done with it, you're like, I'm gonna go upload it.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, did anybody curse on that? And I'm like, I think Cadillac Pat cursed.
And I edited it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, because then I panic emailed Casey, and I'm like, hey, I think someone cursed. You may have to look. And then he's like, Daniel already caught it. I'm like, oh,
hey, all right.
I
was holding on by one Miller Lite.
Like
literally, I remember editing the show, and I remember sitting in my room, and I was like, this week was at the 11-minute mark, and I go, and then I was like, I don't have the tone. I have this sound effect. It's a beep tone, right? It's an official beep tone that you can download or whatever, and I didn't have it on my computer. But again, what a time to be alive, where if you have a Macintosh device, I could just go and type from the boat. I just typed in tone drunkenly with one finger, and then it found all my files. And
the internet has a beep tone?
Yeah, no.
It's in your
I wouldn't
phone.
have been able to download it from the boat. It was in my files. It was in my magic cloud. So I just hit a little button, boop, they just hand delivered it to me, and we were back in business, baby. Not bad.
We were 2 hours into the cruise at that point. You guys should not have been that drunk. Way too soon.
I had a beer on the way over. I always
get there at noon.
Yeah, I always have a beer on the way over. That's kind of my thing. Yeah. It's the thing I do. I had a Coors Light on the way over there, and then when we got there, somebody started just handing me drinks. So I probably, before we recorded, I'd say I probably had 9 to 12.
Thanks to Tony and his insistent urging for everybody to early sign up. At one point, that boat was at 99% PDMs. We could have staged a coup and taken it over at one point in the check-in process.
You're right. In the check-in process, at one point, we were, you're right.
Tony had us all checking in at the earliest possible. It was basically
that made us go early.
11 a.m. in that terminal was basically a BDM meetup. It was crazy.
I got to give Tony an award. This is the first time that Tony ever partied with me on a cruise, and that guy goes rum crazy. He's in his bathrobe jumping around.
Did you guys see him in the bathrobe only phase?
Boofing
that was wild.
I have so much more respect for him. I've always respected him and loved him, but it was kind of like having single crazy Tony on there. He's like, goddamn.
Well, Deb wasn't with him, so that's how he was a little party heavy.
Yeah,
you know
Deb's
what?
not there. The Hawaiian vampire will play.
I thought it was actually kind of a sick move until the next day at breakfast. I saw at the buffet there's a specific no bathrobes only sign.
Oh, really?
I swear to God, I wish I didn't carry my phone on this, or I would have a picture to show you. But they have it's happened before, because there's a specific placard that is Tony in a bathrobe with a line across it.
It's just
it's
a picture of an old man with his hair slicked back, holding a rum and coke or an old fashioned. Yeah. He did such a good job. Everything was so organized, but he always does.
Yeah. He knows how to cruise.
Yeah, he knows how to do it. He did a great job. He did a great job. Thank you, Tony. You did an amazing job, buddy.
So a couple things that, and we've got some stories to tell on the BDM show. That's after lunch.
I have some I can
BDMs
only tell. I have stories I can only tell on the BDM show.
And to save, we want to tell it to BDMs only. This has got a little too public for some of these things.
Yeah.
So did you guys notice how easy it was to get off the cruise, right?
Yeah, it was.
It made me feel like it was as easy as getting in my own vehicle and driving away.
So me and Crystal were dreading, and everybody, or in the past, we've done, this is our, the sixth Tom and Dan cruise, did 5 before. So, so we've been on a bunch of cruises. So getting off is always a hassle, because there's lines and
customs.
You go through customs.
U.S. customs.
Yeah, there's big trash barrels, and then you got to get a little piece of paper, and then you don't have one, then you don't have a pencil, and then you got to fill out and declare 0 because you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm. And
it's a formality. Nobody ever declares anything.
And then you have your birth certificate or passport. They are showing a human.
Driver's license.
They're looking. The human's looking at it. it, and they're looking at you.
Then they interview you a little
Yeah, they're
bit.
asking you a
Yeah.
question like, "Hey, did you buy anything?" You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
standard, the standard
And then
custom.
they go to Maisie and they go like, you're with your parents on this trip, huh? Like, they're making sure I'm not trafficking her.
So-
and-
Up to and including, don't forget, one time I got put in the mirror room.
oh, yeah,
No,
you did.
yes,
I got
yeah.
put in that room, and it was not
Yeah,
fun.
right up in
What?
shorts.
How did that happen? By the way.
I lost my license temporarily the last night. So on the boat the last night, I went through all my bags,
And
cleaned
this is
out
the
all my
last
pockets.
cruise, yeah.
The one I went on with Bart and Carrie.
Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
2019
it was either
or
the second
18?
one or the third
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I forget the timing.
Yeah.
But so I went through all my bags looking for my license. I went through all my bags, took everything out, cleaned every pocket, and found like a vape battery I'd forgotten about. Maybe found like a mushroom I'd forgotten about. Cleaned my whole stuff out looking for my license, like meticulously. And then they called me and said they found my license. So I knew my bags were clean. And I was all geared up to get off the boat super early because Bart and Carrie were my ride back, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to make them late if I had to mess with my license issue or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So having my license and ready to go anyway, I got off the boat first. I was the first guy off the boat, and I also was like super hungover, wearing shades inside. Wearing my last clothes, which was like polo shirt and khaki shorts, and for some reason I had gotten to Rochester and got a giant black duffel bag. That was my only luggage.
You look like
Yeah,
a terrorist.
So, for whatever
You
reason,
look like the Unabomber.
it may have just been they had time because I was the first guy off the boat. They were like, "Come with us, sir. We need to talk to you for a second." And they took me in a room. It
Usually
was-
the first guy off the boat's the least trustworthy guy. He's the bad. He's a bad. He's a bad. He's
What's
a
this
bad
guy in a
hombre.
hurry for?
Yeah, hold on. We got a bad hombre here walking off the boat.
20 by 30 room, 8-10 seats in it. It's just me in there, and every wall is a mirror facing inwards to you.
Oh my God! It's
So
like a
you're just-
weekend video.
It's like a disco. Yes, it is. It's blinding lights on for real. And so I know they're watching, and they just wanted me to see me go to the drugs in my bag and like make sure everything's okay and whatever.
Yeah.
So I just sit there like for 10 minutes or whatever, and then finally I like get my stuff out, charge my phone, start playing.
But when you got your phone out, they were like, "Yeah, it's happening, bud."
Like a minute late after that, they're like, "All right, come with us," and they take me to like the little station that you do your declaration and everything. Except it's just me and this one guy at a station in like a hangar-sized room, and we're by ourselves. And so he puts my bag on the thing. He's like, "Anything to declare?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Do you have fun in the Bahamas?" He's like super friendly. He's like smiling and super friendly. He's like, "Anything to declare? Have fun in the Bahamas? What'd you do? Any excursions or anything?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Anything in here I should worry about?" I was like, "I don't think so, man." Like he's got me chatting. And
That's
he's
what
like,
they like to do. They did that to me in my room. You can hear that story on the BDM show.
super friendly, and he like I had some Benadryl or something. He's like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, just for like runny nose or whatever."
Got a
It's
little
in
allergy.
packaging.
You got a little allergy addiction here, buddy.
And he's like, "Okay, so like for real, like nothing I should worry about in here." I'm like, "Man, I don't think so. Like I'm pretty sure." And like the second he decided it was over, his smile dropped, and he went, "Get out of here."
Oh, so it was an act.
Yeah,
It was an
trying to
act.
play me, trying to get me to like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say, "You know what I did? I forgot. There's some mushrooms in there if you don't like or whatever."
yes.
Oh yeah,
And
he's
then-
doing the spiel.
And then back
That's
to
what
the
they
mirror
did.
room
Oh,
until DEA comes or whatever.
I'm so
dude.
glad you're here
But
for the BDM show
it
because
was
we're gonna have to have a
wild.
talk.
It was wild.
So anyway, so that's what in my past that I've we tell people
Yeah.
like don't take anything back into the United States, like
I was still
throw
having
away.
to tell people that the last night, by the way. It's crazy
Yeah.
how people don't listen.
And so, and then I was used to a long line. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're gonna have to go through this. You have to
Here
stand
we
in line.
go.
And
That's
and
the
so
Dak Prescott.
we walk off the boat and we're just.
Did you do walk off or did you wait for your time?
No, I did walk off.
Walk
but
off.
the vans. We obviously we woke up. We woke up to people. I woke up early, but my family didn't wake up
I'll keep big.
until someone's knocking on the door, like you got to get out at 8 or whatever. So we
I
walk
thought you
out.
could stay until 10. God, Maisie and
You gotta
Andrea
get out
had
of
me
your
up
room.
at 6. I was up at 6. They're like, take a shower.
You had to be off the boat by 10. You got to be out of your room by 8.
8, yeah. So I was waiting, like I'm like, here we go, we're about to hit this line, and I have to just sit there and wait. Or we start walking, we go walk to the end of the ship, we get off the ship, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, the line's coming. I know, I've gone through this 10 times
Did
before.
you
There's
go
a line.
through Did you go through the maze of porters?
Yeah.
That's
but
almost like it's not like a Halloween Horror Nights house. Like you walk through, and then it's all ginormous Jamaican guys with like wheelbarrows,
Hand
like
carts,
looking at
yeah.
hand carts looking at you, and they all had like a snappy joke for you. They're like, "Did you have a good time, man?" Like that guy, and then you walk a little bit further, and the guy's like,
Why in the
"Island-"
Jamaica? We're
and
in the
then-
United States.
I
We're
don't know.
Cocoa
And then the
Beach.
guy would be like, "Island time." Like I don't know.
we're
I
in
don't
Port
know.
Canaveral.
I have no idea.
So we.
I was carrying my 2 bags and our giant trash bag full of dirty clothes,
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a lady step like right in the way and say, "You sure you want to carry that the whole way?"
And so anyway, there was no customs agents, or at least the process
it was
is
an iPad on a stick.
there's an iPad on the stick that has some sort of, and I'm put this in quotes, facial recognition.
It would look like a standard camera to me.
You walk up. Did you go through this?
We had the standard guy looking at your license and your birth certificate, but this time there was no insistence on the form at all. Nobody cared about the form.
I wonder if this is a passport only thing. You were birth certificate or passport?
Yeah, birth certificate.
You got something different. Andrea
Interesting.
told me this. Birth certificate people got a whole different thing. You and I, if we had a passport, you
so
walk up to an iPad and the iPad just flashes green and they're like, get out of here.
Oh.
So I guess
I don't think it did nothing.
There's some sort of passport facial recognition. By the way, you should see my fat port.
You can see my fat bastard.
My passport is when I was the fattest I was with a beard.
A fat port.
It doesn't.
You just goofed on yourself.
It's just stamped with different foods.
You just see it's my Epcot food and wine. It's a food and wine passport.
Do you remember me in the documentary when I was fat and had that beard?
Yes.
Like that's when I
People
took my
love
passport
that. People love
picture.
you like that.
So anyway, you
Not
just
to body shame, but people loved you like
you
that.
walk out and it takes a picture of facial recognition, and then you just keep walking, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow. I'm glad that they utilize some sort of technology, but also I was like, there's no way these things are working, because I didn't see any one of them stop working and be like,
Nobody flagged anybody.
Like I'm pretty sure that if they have told all the employees there, like, if something goes wrong, just beep them through. It's kind of like the old, when they used to take your temperature for COVID at the restaurant. Like if it's
all right, you're good. All right, take your hat off. Go outside and fan your forehead for 20 minutes.
It's just like they're just going through the motions, because
hold on. I don't
there's
mean to
too
call
many
you TC.
people.
It's too fast. Like, it took my picture and then it was like, it took my picture and then in 3 milliseconds it flagged me green. How does that work?
Well, I bet because you
Wait, so you went to Interpol and you ran my look, and I'm not.
It's just in the passport system.
Yeah, because you have a passport, you're in the federal database, like the Poros with me and all, with the birth certificates. We just had the human version of that. Some guy looked at our license, looked at our birth certificate, make sure the names matched, make sure the picture looked like me. That was it.
Yeah.
No form or anything this time, which was I think that's what sped up the process.
Maisie got it too. Like, she walked up to the iPad, they're like, took a picture, and then you were supposed to get off the boat. You could get off at 8. I was in the car at 8:07.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the car at 8:07 and home by 9.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the best part of living in Florida.
Crazy, dude. Crazy fast.
So that told me, I'm like, they must have, the cruise line companies must have done a handshake with the government. Like, listen, we need to get 6,000 people off this ship and another 6,000 on in a span of 6 hours. Like, we cannot have any customs agents.
It's all green lights from here on out.
Pulling the sketchiest looking guy and searching his bag. Like, none of that. Quit doing
we don't
that.
have time for that. You can't pull the guy with the long socks and the duffel bag out. You have to leave him alone.
Who cares? This is about business. We're paying a bunch of taxes here. Just let us get these damn fatsos out of here. It has to be
it
that,
was
right?
a corral of fatsos, and they were like, get them out, get them out.
Scan their fat ports and get them out of here.
Who cares if they have some dirt weed from the Bahamas? There's weed at a store right down the street that's awesome. You can go buy.
I literally walked out, and then, passport, right? Andrea said, get your passport out. We didn't need her passport. I've been fumbling in her backpack. They just needed the iPad. I walk up to the iPad. Meanwhile, I've got my vape in my pocket. It just takes my picture. I walk right out.
No one cares about
I
nothing
walked
anymore.
on with my marijuana. I walked off with my marijuana. I'm telling you, I did that. It was fine. They didn't do anything.
We don't recommend that. You could go to jail.
I guess you could, but I did. I went on with it. I walked off. In fact, the iPad took my picture. My family started walking to the car. I turned and did a toot as I walked to the car. And good to go. No problem.
So I will say this. So I found out on I was talking to Tony about MSC, the cruise line, and where it came from, and apparently the MSC
Do you know
shipping
what it stands
company.
For? MSC?
No.
It's short. They dropped the tail end of it. It was MSC, these nuts. But
I knew you didn't know for real. You were gonna do. a '90s weed
Yeah,
joke because you are addicted
I am
to
a,
marijuana.
no, he's D's nuts. I was doing D's nuts. Sorry, I'm sorry.
So I found out that like MSC is that gigantic global shipping company that owns a bunch of ships that ship freight, right? And so the person that owns it is like a billionaire 100 times over. And I guess his wife wanted to start a cruise company.
Yeah.
And then so they started buying cruise ships.
Like
and
Jerry Jones' wife wanting the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. We need something for the girls. Let's do a cruise line.
And so this plays into my theory
something
that I got.
for the ladies.
So Tony was telling me like, now they're like the third biggest cruise company. But they just kind of broke into the United States like 6 years ago, and they're trying to do all these promotions and to get the Americans.
Yeah, they're throwing money at it, dude.
They're throwing money at it. And I noticed on this particular cruise, which was different than all the other cruises, and Ross, I don't know if you noticed this, but like they were loose with like giving out drinks and like even caring if you had your drink card or whatever. Because there's like two times
they were handing me beers.
Yeah,
and then they'd wave my card off.
Yeah. 2 times I forgot my card in the damn room because I have the lights or whatever. And then I ordered drinks and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot my card. And then some other BDM reached for theirs, and then the person's like, it doesn't matter. And then just went on. And I'm like, that's weird. Usually, I've been on other cruises where
it does matter.
Like, they'll slide you water and like, or like they'll slide you a Diet Coke and like, oh, no, drink it. They will not just give it to you. And I don't even blame them because they've been probably yelled at by their bosses, like, you don't give away anything free, keep track of it. Every card has to be scanned. They're taking accounting or whatever. And this seemed pretty loose.
The crew of this ship was like the usual international cast of characters, but they all seemed to have in common they must have taken like some sort of weird facial recognition memory course, or like maybe they had the passport system installed in their brains or whatever. Because I had more people recognize me from behind the bar. Oh, Mr. Ross, I'll get your rum and Coke, or do you want a Red Bull now? Because they a lot of people know.
Yeah.
One bar, the guy was like, "Oh, Ross," he'd call out to me.
Yeah, we had
and,
a nice
have
guy
my
too.
stuff
They were good. Like, and then I had heard some. I'm just being honest with you guys. I had heard some questionable things about the staff. I thought the staff ruled. Like I had the same thing you got. I got the guy that was like, "Oh, Mr. Dan." Well, I'm pretty recognizable, right? Little, covered in tattoos, probably making a lot of noise, but yeah, I had the same experience you had.
We had the same thing in the thermal suite. We got the thermal package to like use sauna and stuff.
Hell yeah.
The first day, the lady checked our card and was like, "Your room? What room did you say we were?" And checked our room number. And then every time we came after that, she's like, "Oh, yep, hey guys, go ahead," and just waved us in.
Yeah.
So, and
I do like the I don't give an F, I'm handing you beers technique that MSC goes with. I do like that.
Yeah.
Because it saves a lot of time because, like, honestly, when we were doing the show, the live show, like, anytime I was doing the live show, like, I'd look at Andrea or something, I'd be like, I'd love a Miller Lite. She would literally just look at the guy, and then he would just bring over a bunch of beers. Like, it wasn't a problem. You didn't need your card. It didn't slow anything down. They were just like, let's give them the beers.
I'd always heard the legends, but I can verify that it's true. Power Spot Craig, I was hanging out with him in the casino a little bit. I think we'll talk about that later on the BDM
I didn't
show.
get a chance to gamble with Craig.
But I was hanging out with him in the casino, and at one point, a man came up to me, physically elbowed me out of the way, and said, "Here's your drink, Mr. Craig." And Craig picked up his like 3/4 full drink that was a little bit melty, gave it a sip, handed that to the guy over his shoulder without looking, and accepted the new drink.
I
swear to God.
Pyro Spot Craig had like an army. Like he had his own staff. He had his own staff.
He does basically have his own crew on the shit. It's amazing.
He won a cruise. You know that, right? He won a free
What?
cruise. He always wins a free cruise because he's always in the casino.
Oh, they give you a cruise if you
do.
gamble a lot.
Yeah.
So they did with Eric, old Rodriguez.
Yeah.
We
had a millionaire fight. We had a millionaire fight on one of the nights. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to wing names, but we had. They bought every bottle of Cristal. They bought every bottle of Dom. Not supposed to talk about it.
It always feels good when the people going on the Tom and Dan cruise are richer than we are.
It does feel good
by a lot,
Yeah.
by enough where it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm looking through my wallet and I'm like, I have a $20 bill.
You gave me a little sack of money for gambling, and I'm feeding. Why'd you give me ones? I'm feeding $1 into a slot machine like an old grandma.
I have the perfect story for this on the BDM show.
Okay,
Perfect example of the millionaire disparity on this boat. Trust me.
So going back to my theory. So
about customs, you mean?
No, about this.
Oh,
like,
they're giving out the drinks.
What the MSC is doing. So then like let's fast forward to, and this was happening multiple times throughout the trip where people were coming up to me because they make fun of me. And what's funny is that
the amount of pictures that you get when you're just sitting with your mouth open and people are like, look at how unfortunate he looks. And then they'll just take the picture and then it's mean. It's reached a level of mean now.
No. Yeah. I'll take anything. But I was explaining that to a BDM's wife, I believe, on the cruise, where she was like, "You guys are mean," because like her husband's a BDM.
I know who you're talking about.
Her husband's a BDM, and he was like, and we're like making fun of EJ and each other. We're just mean to each other. And then she's like, "Why are you guys so mean?" I'm like, "We're just giving each other ass like that. We're all friends. And we're this is a way, it's our love language.
It is our love language."
And I'm like, this is we're just messing around. And I was telling her, I was like, they make fun of me, they make fun of Daniel, they make fun of Ross, and then we make fun of them. It's a sickness.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So anyway,
when you started singing karaoke and Dan got up with you, and I was like the only one at the table, and I picked up the mic, somebody leaned forward to me and said, "You're gonna roast Tom." I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
So everybody, and because I joked around and said how into math I am, and that's my religion.
Oh, God.
Everybody was, and I was telling everybody not to play slots because you're just giving your money away. Everybody felt compelled to bring up their winning slot slips about how much money they won on the slot machine.
There are a lot of them.
And then I at the beginning of the trip, I was like, it's an anomaly. I'm like, just take it and leave because you'll never win it. They're just gonna give it back. Like, this is how this company makes money. They don't build these cruise ships, giving away money. I'm going to go through my whole spiel.
Give them the spiel. Give them the rant.
And I'm like, it's negative expected value bet. These are horrible bets. So, but people kept bringing it. And then Eric Rodriguez in front of me was making me push the button.
That's real bowling. Where you're like, press the button, you pig.
Yeah. And then I was pressing it, and then we were winning, and then dragons were coming out, and like a treasure chest.
That's the best part when you get the treasure chest.
And then everybody was laughing and laughing because Eric was just winning hundreds of dollars. And I'm screaming, "This is impossible." So then my buddy that we call Pudge.
He's a fan favorite. People love Pudge.
He was on the boat. Pudge, Turkey Leg, Porno Joe
Pudge
were
brought
on the boat.
Family.
And
Mrs. P and Little Pudge were on the boat as well.
So Crystal at one point.
You never call a woman Mrs. Pudge, by the way. That's why I went Mrs. P. Mm-hmm. You see what I did there? You taught me that. You taught me that.
Mm-hmm. Crystal runs over and she's like, "Did you hear how much Danny won on a slot machine?" I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "He hit it for $6,500." Dude, like, that's it. What? And I'm like, no, you're reading it. It must have been 6,500 points, and maybe you won like 650.
You cash it in, you get a hula hoop.
I'm like, you must be reading it wrong. And like, no way, 6,500. And then, sure enough, he won $6,500 on his number. So then. So later on when I see my friends, I go in there, I start screaming how this is impossible and whatever. And I told them, whatever you do, I'm like, whatever you do, you can never stop gambling right now.
You're done.
Take the $6,500, put it in your safe, and then walk up. You will feel, because if you start getting drunk and start giving your money back, I've seen it happen.
It'll suck your wallet away.
Yeah, I did that. I've seen listeners win, like go up $3,000, and the end of the trip they're down $1,500, and I'm like, why didn't you just quit while you're ahead?
The most I've ever gone up on a Tom and Dan cruise was $1,000. You'll remember this, and I lost every blanking penny.
I'm like, this is
every
how
penny.
This is how the casinos are in business. Every game in this casino is they have the advantage. You understand? Like, this is the math of a casino. There is no game at the casino where you have an advantage at all. And
you keep explaining this to people that are winning. Right? That's the moral of the story.
You know how hard it is to say that to a man holding a bunch of money in his hands, and you're telling him
how much? I promise you, I really do believe in math, and it is what I believe is to be reality.
Yeah.
And then,
but you understand, you're the equivalent of like some guys screaming, "My dragon god will save me," while they're burning you at the stake. You know, like
But you know what Pudge believes in? Pudge believes in fun. He believes in fun.
So then later on, the last day, we're doing our final get together where we say bye to all the BDMs.
I like to call that blackout night.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And then that's next to, it's at the sports bar next to the casino, and there I see Pudge. He's at the slots again, and I'm like,
you're like, there he goes, can't stand it. Look what he's doing. He's feeding it all back.
He's doing what everybody does. He's there. He's chasing the lightning.
Did you go up to him and go, how much are you down?
No,
were
no,
you
no.
disappointed?
No,
or?
because I was talking to him, and I just said, I told myself, just let people have their fun.
Okay.
Let them do what they want.
That's a big move.
They don't want you telling them how math works and telling them how they'll never win the lottery and telling them how all their dreams will never happen. Which I love telling people.
It is a little disappointing when you come over. We know. Like, we're having a conversation, then we see you start to walk over to our car. We're like, oh, God, he's going to tell us. He's going to tell us this is all stupid.
And then I'm like, chances are, you know how it's going to go.
Do you feel that? Because we can feel you coming over, but can you feel our outward energy? I
feel
he's coming.
I have to push Pat like I'm walking into the wind.
You muscle your way in. You muscle your way into the circle.
And I have to scream. I'm like, all your dreams.
Hey, guys.
They're not real. And so I see him over there, and then I tell myself, I'm like, just let people have their fun. Listen to Crystal when she tells you, you're the fun ruiner. You're ruining everybody's time.
I didn't know she'd given you. That's a really terrible thing to call it. Really, it's not even vulgar. It's just you're called the fun ruiner. That's not good.
So anyway, I go back. I'm hanging out with the BDMs, and I fully expect Pudge to he's probably going to lose half of what he won.
Was he at the ones in the sports bar? The little ones at the sports bar?
Well, he was playing those at first, and then he was playing the old. He was convinced the smoky slots, where that was the one where he hit the 6,500 in the smoking section because all the casinos.
The smoke makes the computer chips go wrong.
That's another difference that was different from we haven't been on a cruise in 5 years. Is that now this boat has you can't smoke in the whole casino. There's the smoking section of casino that's a cigarette box.
And it's where everybody. There's not one person in the rest of the casino. The only people were in the smoking area.
I got news for you. If you're with Pirates Rock Ride, you can vape weed wherever you want. They did not care.
Yeah, I was going to. Well,
they didn't care.
We'll talk about it on the BDM show because I have a story about that too.
So then it's we're ending the final goodbye. I'm hugging all the BDMs, and then all of a sudden, someone one of my buddies come running up to me. I think it was Porno Joe. And he's like, "Did you hear about Danny?" Pudge's name is Danny. He's
and you're like, "Of course, I heard about the 6,500."
I'm like, "Oh no, he gave away all his money." Of course, I heard it in my head when I told myself it an hour ago when I saw him in the casino. He's like, "No, he hit another slot for 1,700."
He's walking off with $8K.
I'm like, "No." And then
$8,000.
I was like, that's. And then I ran down there because I thought they were messing with me because I was like, this is against. It's in the.
This is against the math religion.
Do you understand?
Sacrilege.
You're crapping on my religion of math.
This is the equivalent of me seeing Zeus's beard fall off. I'm like, no. And then, sure enough, he hit for another 1,700, which he walked off the ship with over $8,000.
Yeah, over.
That he won on
How
slot
angry
machine.
does that make you, Tom?
That'll change your mark.
Your friend's great success and luck at life. How mad does that make you?
Yeah. No. I'm happy. I'm mad at
It couldn't have happened to a better dude. It couldn't happen to a better dude. But it is one of those things that I knew was going to stick.
Hold on, say it again because that's a classic quote right there.
No, I'm mad at math. Now, I sat on the whole ride home.
Wait, are you? Oh my God, REM, are you losing your religion?
He's having a religious crisis.
REM, he's losing his religion. I have to write a song now and sing it as you.
Tom's having a crisis of faith.
Somebody write that down. I'm losing my math religion.
Because I started it, I was like, wait a minute. I was like,
is there a chapel on the boat? We find him there. He's praying.
I was like, just, I mean, is this am I wrong the whole time? Because BDMs
were
are
you
telling
there
me, they're like, look, Tom, it's just as easy. You put your money, you hit this button, it gives you money.
Tom shows up tomorrow. He's dressed like the Cure. He's wearing black makeup.
Yeah. Did you see me stand standing next to Tracy's husband when he hit?
Yeah, no,
it
I know.
wasn't
He
as
was
much,
winning.
but he like pulled the lever, and I'm standing there. He's like, "Oh, $300." I'm like, $300? Just money falling from the sky.
She was bringing me over and he's like, look how much. He's got a big wad, a pimp wad of money with a slot machine receipts, and this like.
I saw him cashing out, and I thought they might run out of $100 bills.
Yeah.
It seemed impossible.
So then
Yeah,
I'm like,
we have to see. Did Danny? Was he our high roller? Because
I don't know.
Out of everybody on the
8,000
cruise,
bucks.
he's up there.
So I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, like the casinos, they program the slot machines themselves to pay them more than they give out. Like, that's
right.
how it works.
And I had always heard that on the way back, they
Really?
they lean on them
Turn
to
the
make
vacuum
them so
on?
they get their
Yeah.
money back.
Yeah.
Like the first couple nights, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I was always told the first couple nights that's when people win because they want to get you primed to go in there and dump your money, and then they tighten it up the last couple days so people win less. Is that true or not true?
Well, is
that fake?
Here, what's true? Well, what I thought was true was the math of it, which
Wow,
is
you can't believe in that.
Which is they
That's
have
just silly.
at the very least a 51% chance of winning, and you have a 49%. Like it's
Right.
it is never more than that. Like,
Maybe this Italian billionaire is sweetening the pot, so we'll come and scream
Okay,
about it.
so
and,
that's my theory.
Loose casinos
the
sell
thing
more
I just said
cruises.
is
Well, that was my only explanation to the math of it, because the math can't work out unless the Italian billionaire
You guys are like stepbrothers right now.
loosens it up.
Have you played my drum set?
He had to loosen the math to make it. I mean, that's the only explanation. Either that, or
So-
just all the BDMs just happen to be winning all the damn time.
So for the first time ever, let me reiterate, you and Ross have a co-theory, which is this has never happened in the history of the show. So you have a co-hypothesis, and your hypothesis is that this Italian billionaire is running loose casinos to sell more cruises.
Yeah.
and
Not a bad idea.
As
it's not a
marketing-
bad
I mean,
idea because you can budget it.
So then people
you
go,
can budget it.
they-
free drink or loose drinks, loose casino. Let's
and you only have to do it until you get them rolling, and then you're good.
Then the rumor, the legend is spread.
Yeah, and then you just tighten it up slowly, incrementally. You just tighten it back up.
And then he tells us, he's like, and then fat radio guys will come on the cruise and they'll tell all their friends. And
Then we have loose slots on the boat.
And then the word will spread, and then we'll tighten them up as we become bigger.
Yeah,
and but at the beginning, we'll just dump some money into the loose slots.
I didn't win nothing.
I mean,
But,
neither
but,
did I.
But I will say that I've never seen more listeners winning, and you know what? I am happy for you, but I was also angry because I was drunk, and when I'm drunk, I get angry.
I lost $100 in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I know.
I did about the same with $200 because I was really drunk and I got on some heavy slot. I wanted to do the Danny. I do like slots. I hit some button and then $75 was gone. I think I did a $75 spin.
Yeah, you gotta watch
and I'm
the
like,
multiplier.
oh God, that's
Yeah.
my whole wad.
Yeah.
So then I only
Well,
had
they're
like
not 100% loose. I think they loosened them down 5%. Maybe they're not loosening them that much.
I had the wrong one because, just like Ross said, in about 2 minutes, my allotment was gone, and I was like, well, bye, casino. I'm done.
I made the best mathematical bet on the entire cruise when I bet that BDM Bills fan $100 even money on the Dolphins Bills game
You
for
didn't
Thursday
count
night.
on old third quarter crinkle fingers.
It
wasn't even him.
The math of it, even money when it was like minus 130, he gave me even money. I'm like, I got a 30 cents of value on every dollar. Like that is the best bet on this entire cruise ship. Of course.
So math failed you every step of the way.
Yes,
Is that
exactly.
is that what you're saying, Tom?
This is the thing that I've been telling you for years. Like, whose name is on the fantasy football trophy? Is it Math Man or is it random? In fact, the year that I think I won, I think I auto drafted. I was like, or EJ picked for me because I remember I forgot about it.
Play Losing My Religion by the Cranberries or whatever. I don't know, whatever that is.
It's by REM. I'll make you a song. I'll make you a song.
Anyway, so
I'm sorry, buddy.
So yeah, then I watched the Dolphins game, watched Tua get knocked out by DeMar Hamlin, which I screamed on the show would never play in the NFL again.
The math gods are out to get. They are getting you, dude.
Yeah, They are clowning me.
I
good.
was getting so many Damar Hamlin messages about people saying that, like, you said he'd never play again. But look, he killed Tua, that I had to turn my phone off. I had to turn the Wi-Fi off during the game.
Really, Tua just straight up, as fast as he could run, headbutted.
He did.
Straight into Hamlin's, strong-ass thighs.
I don't know why he did that. Baker Mayfield can slide well. He knows what to do.
You know how checked out of sports I am? When you started talking about that on the boat podcast, I was like, why is he bringing up the Hawk Tua girl? On this thing?
She has a new podcast now. Called Talk to Her.
So, and then, also, I found it pretty funny that, like, that private island that MSC bought, which is beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like
Very nice.
It looks like exactly what you think a cartoon private Caribbean island would
Finally,
look like.
I was impressed with a private island. Like, I've never been impressed with any private island. I like that one because the water was awesome.
But it used to be like some sort of industrial site, like they were like mining salt or whatever.
Oh,
so,
I thought you meant like nuclear waste.
No. It was just like, it was essentially like a
Probably
mine.
Guano. Most of those islands, it was like guano they were after.
Guano?
Yeah.
Like bat doo-doo?
But bird, seabird, yeah.
So but it was just like filled rusty bulldozers and things, and then they bought it and cleaned it and turned it into.
Did you not get the full Tony story?
Yeah.
Okay, you're just distilling it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So do you know it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the island was so messed up. Like usually they won't sell an island, the Bahamas. They'll lease it, like other Royal Caribbean or whoever. They got like a 99-year lease on their island.
Okay, all right.
But this one was so messed up. The Bahamas was like, yeah, you can buy it, to this Italian billionaire guy, and he was like, yeah, okay, bought it, threw a bunch of money into it, and made it that like tiny little piece of paradise that we saw.
Yeah, it turned into like a marine reserve or whatever.
But then I had a theory about that too. I think the whole marine reserve thing is a BS.
Oh, well,
I was explaining.
There's a marketing.
I mean, sort of like a little slice of maybe you rubbing off on me. I was explaining to Andrea and Maisie how they just say that so they can get away with whatever they want to do. Because if you say, "Hey, we're protecting this island, and we have a little conservation unit," and then you just employ some teens to stand there and hand out pamphlets, and then you put some stupid picture of like how much waste you cleaned up, like you do like, this is how much waste we cleaned. It's as big as the moon, you show that, and then you're like, oh, we're so good, and then you don't have to do nothing. You can still go back to dumping waste. You just need to have it there.
Yeah. There's a certain marketing.
There was like hundreds of people in the water, like any normal beach, and we saw of course the jellyfish, and we saw like a ray.
Oh yeah, we did see a stingray.
And I don't know fish, but somebody said it was jackfish. This school of jackfish just kept swimming by and like just swimming in and out of people. It was super neat.
Robots, robots.
Yeah. My sons
there was a no drone sign there.
Yeah, they did have jackfish in the water.
Yeah, they were feeding them and whatnot.
We saw a ray, like a nice little like brown ray, and it was just like scooting around everybody.
Ray Parker Jr. He's a brown ray.
He ain't afraid of no ghost.
Also,
he might be a ghost now. I don't know. Is he alive?
As we were, sitting in the water, getting hammered, just getting our teeth stung off by jellyfish.
Oh, my wife was literally melting her skin off her back. Oh my God, she has the worst sunburn I've ever seen. You might actually be sitting on it right now. I can't tell.
I saw they were renting and I love these, by the way. They were made popular, I believe, in the 80s because I remember them as a kid.
Yeah.
The balloony tire 3-wheeled aqua bikes.
Yeah, I used to see hot girls peddling those. Right?
Yeah.
There's one in the background of the group picture Tony took.
Yes.
There was like a guy on it. There was like trying to moon us or pull his weenie out.
Yeah,
or something.
I thought it was awesome.
But besides from comedy, who is renting those for quote-unquote fun?
I've heard they're terrible. I've never rented one before, but I heard they're the absolute hardest thing to pedal in the world.
Well, not even is it exercise and extremely slow, but you're just roasting in the sun, and I'm like, what is fun about it to these people?
It's the look. It's purely the look. You just want to get your photo on it, like, hey, I'm standing on an aqua bike.
But they were aqua biking out there far, like 100 yards.
I think we had a manic episode on the. Did you see the guy having a manic episode on the paddleboard? Like, he went away from the group, and he went straight for the horizon. He was just, like, paddling to die. You didn't see that guy?
No.
They had to go get him on the jet skis. The jet skis went over, told him, like, get in your group. He was just paddling straight for the horizon like a Labrador that wanted to die at the beach.
I was talking to the bud doc in the water.
Oh, Dr. Shinlate.
You need to carefully cultivate this guy because you could have a new crazy millionaire. We were in the water drinking, and he saw that bike thing, and he's like, we should go rent 2 of those and have people race them.
I started thinking about all these different things, but then I was like, it's too hot to be paddling that giant 3-wheel bike.
But the water was perfect. We did have some jellyfish.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
people
I
did-
got some
yeah,
funny stories
yeah,
about what happened with the jellyfish.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
It's got worse and worse as
Well, it was
the
amateur
day-
hour for a second. There was a Spanish real man that I'll tell you about on the BDM show and what he was doing to the jellyfish.
Oh yeah. And then
His method was strange.
I will say that the employees they should have cruise employees teach American kids how about customer service and about how not to outwardly show everybody you hate your life.
Oh, they keep it inside.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
keep it all
Because
inside.
They have one of the toughest jobs I've ever seen. I'm watching some of these people, and I'm like, man,
No
they are
self-awareness, these
They are
people.
hustling the entire time, like nonstop, working their ass
But
off.
some of the patrons are horrible.
yeah, for
They're horrible.
the drunkest.
Horrible.
I mean, it's like our group is cool.
Yeah, like, I had me another drink there, Wing Wong.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God.
And
dude,
the
really? You're
gluttonous
gonna act like
behavior
that?
on a cruise, you're just shoveling hot dogs down to and just the booze, and then the entire time you are hustling, and I'm like, man, these people are have a pretty good they have a smile on their face and pretty upbeat for how much hard this job is, the entire time, nonstop, 6-hour grind.
I had a man from Indonesia thank me effusively for a $1 bill that Ram Davesy tore in half.
Yeah,
The-
then you're
the-
like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
the
What is
Ram,
really
the Ram
going on?
Davesy ripping money was it didn't land the same way on the boat as it does it here. Like in here, it's funny. On the boat, it had a whole different vibe, right?
And it's funny because there were some people that I didn't even see. I didn't even see Paul Williams one time in the entire
Oh,
ship.
I saw
did-
him twice.
I saw him eating sushi the last night real quick. He had his beard braided.
Oh, you did?
He had
Oh,
his
that's
beard
gonna
braided
hurt.
again. Yeah. But they were little stubbies because his beard. He's
Yeah.
he's lost weight, so he has a smaller beard. So he had tiny little beard braids in
Yeah.
there.
And then there were some listeners I saw the last day, and I was like, oh, I didn't even see you the whole time. They're like, oh, we because there's too many people. You can't see everybody and talk to everybody.
There was
can't.
also some people that snuck on the boat. Shout out to the Boros.
Yeah, I like those people. I also like the people that I think, and this I don't know if you're listening to this, but as you were leaving, you gave me the well, I guess this is me seeing you, bye, and I'm like, oh no, you know what I mean? I kind of felt
I
like
think you didn't say
that could be my own sensitivity.
It's not because you didn't make yourself accessible, Dan.
Yeah,
People could get to you if
I
they
could
wanted
maybe.
to.
I think I'm putting my own sensitivity
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
I need to be better about just taking it at whatever it means.
If somebody didn't talk to you on the boat, that's on them.
Yeah,
because
we were
you
trying.
out there.
Yeah, we were out there.
I hit a little bit.
So
I tried to hide on the balcony for 1 hour, and I could not because it was roasting me alive. I had the wrong side of the ship for sitting on the balcony. It was hot.
But we do appreciate everybody who came on the cruise.
So fun, man.
We'll tell some more spicy stories on the BDM show.
Yes.
Because there's a couple people wheeled out in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that person's actually coming to watch the BDM show. So
Yeah,
we'll ask him
yeah.
about what his experience was.
Yeah, we'll get to see kind of what happened to that guy.
And then there was a minor police involvement, I guess a ship police involvement that we talked to one of our buddies about on the live podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We'll tell it all on the BDM
Yeah.
show.
I may have set off my smoke alarm. We'll tell that too.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back with more corporate time.
Awesome. Got it.
Perfect.
Did we get an update from?
Not yet.
Are they still at 11?
I believe so. No one. The door is open.
New folder.
Did you guys want anything from Publix?
I'm good right now, but thank you, buddy.
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna run and get a Red Bull, and then
Okay, cool.
either that'll be started by the time.
Yeah.
I get back,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just get back at it.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
Perfect. Monday, 9, 16, 24. Oh, come on, man. Monday, 1 and 2. We don't need any edits. Got it. Yeah, Justin was in Sanford last night partying. I saw photos of him. That guy parties.
Yeah, he was staying at the Air T&D.
Yep. Come on, save. I'm checking my email to see if anybody reached out. Normally, Jeff will hit up Tracy, right? I don't know if Tracy's in there.
I'm texting Tracy right now.
Oh, okay. She's in the chat room. I can talk to her. Hey, Tracy, you didn't get anything back from Jeff yet, did you? I think my voice will hang in there today.
Yeah, it may be somewhat dead after the BDM show.
Well, I have therapy too. Like I'll go to my therapist. Oh, EJ, you had Tammy and Rebecca and Dallas and Eric at your table. That's cool. Tammy was the blonde that went with Rebecca, correct? I think she's like a new listener now. She's super sweet. Yeah, Rebecca's dope. She's so fun. Billy's working on Scott Inez for us.
All right.
I think we're good on that. Got a nice email from somebody thanking us that was on the cruise. That's really nice. Matthew wants to log in. This is great.
I'm glad they expedited that re-entry process, because if you think about it, it was so stupid before and such a waste of
man hours.
Resources and stuff for like you to be checking that closely. All these people getting off the cruise ship is like, all right, is there a chance someone boarded in Nassau?
Snuck on?
Yeah. Next to zero. And then also, because where are they going to stay on the ship?
Yeah.
Plus, they need their card to get back on. You know what I'm saying? They would have to manufacture some cruise card. Like, all this stuff. And then, so what did Customs think they were catching? Well, the cruise people, they're probably catching nothing. Like, minor amounts of marijuana, or, like, I bet you they've, in the history of...
Well, they sped it up, like Ghost of a New Bull is right. I think they sped it up for, like, people like us. Like, if you're a local, or not even local, but you go on cruises and you're not bringing back a bunch of shit, then they were just like, well, we've been checking people that aren't declaring any of it. Like, think about that. Like, if you're declaring shit, yes, you still probably have to go and talk to Customs.
Yeah.
Because you have stuff that you bought, or you're importing something, right? But for the most part, like what, 95% of the cruise they don't bring anything back.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you don't declare anything. So, and then I think they lessened like what you used to have to declare, like even souvenirs. I don't think you have to do that now.
No, yeah.
I don't think that's a thing.
You don't even.
It
you
used
just
to
put
be,
it in your bag. No one. I mean, I
right.
wheeled my bag out
I
of
think
there.
they're done with that. But like if you bought,
because what are they trying to stop? Yeah.
But I think if you bought something that legally you would need to, I don't know what that thing is. But I think they do still have rules. But they were just like, let's just keep the rules in place for this. But let's open the tail end of it to make it easier for people. I thought it was easier to get on.
Just let everybody on and off. What the fuck are you? Even the people that bring some bottle of liquor, they didn't pay taxes. It doesn't even matter. Like, we're talking about 6,000 people. Like, the amount of just taxes and the fees you charge at MSC is 1,000 times more than anything you possibly. It's like, what the hell are you even doing? Like, so just let everybody eat it off.
But is this the same for? Well, this was the question I had that I wanted to ask you, and I forgot. Is this something that was unique to all boats that go to Port Canaveral, or was this unique to MSC?
I don't know. I would imagine that other cruise ships have adopted this, get people on and off fast, because it's the government at this point. The government's doing that. Like that's.
But we didn't even talk to one government employee.
No. So that's what I'm saying. I think the government just decided, like, hey, this is a waste of
Good. I knew
money.
the chat room would know. Thank you, Ghost. He said all boats. I was on Royal, and they do the same thing. Yeah, I think they all like kind of got together and worked with the government, and we're just like, we got to fix this.
Yeah.
Especially if we wanted to be profitable.
Yeah. And then because the more profit the cruise makes, the more taxes they're going to pay back to the government. So It's like us slowing their business down is doing nothing to even help us.
But, well, think about it. So the thing that your question you asked about, like somebody could slip on the boat, right? Well, they eliminated that because remember the pain in the ass of you having to have your ID when you got on and off?
Yeah, well, they've always done that.
But my point is they have that in place, so you're right. Like, they don't, it's just like.
Yeah, you would have
they would catch them.
You would have to get past them. So it's like, what is even the government doing? Like, being extra cautious, checking people, whatever, it doesn't matter.
What do you guys like in the chat room? Are you guys Royal people, Carnival people? I saw some people, or Norwegian. I saw some people that really loved MSC. MSC's been the one that I've got. People like I've got more what do you call that? Outliers. I've got some people that are like they don't like it, and then I've got a lot of people that like really love it.
Isn't Carnival the boat that's that you see those TikTok videos of the deck when they're leaving? It is crazy.
They're having a melee. Yeah,
it's
they're
a
fighting.
party. Well, no, I'm just saying the amount of party that they're having is insane. Yeah, that's funny.
Ghost is a Royal. Please tell me you fired your boss. That's hilarious. Yes, we'll yell at Bustecker. He's causing problems. Yelling at listeners and telling them.
Science Center had to reschedule.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right.
So
wait for Ross to get back,
well,
and then we'll just keep cranking, I guess. We can go over some.
I saw something funny that if you want to just start right now.
Yeah, we can.
You'll laugh at this.
Okay. All right, buddy. Present something to me. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So we were, during the break, I was just looking through Facebook real quick, just scrolling.
Yeah.
Like everybody does.
It's
mindlessly, like, is anything interesting?
Yeah.
Nothing's ever interesting.
How was your scrolling? It ties in. How was your scrolling on the cruise?
Didn't do any of it.
How's that feel?
Did
you miss it?
Yeah, I'm addicted to it.
Okay.
My brain is like, where's the scroll?
Yeah.
You need it.
I did feel good detaching.
Steal this guy's radio for the scroll.
Yeah, another thing I think I got off of, I didn't do any caffeine on the boat.
Really?
Did nothing.
I
just did alcohol only.
I was drinking rum and cokes a lot.
Yes, I saw that.
Because of no seltzers.
I like that. It's kind of sexy watching you drink rum and cokes. I like that. Like an old sailor.
Yeah.
Sailor Tom.
They got me the second night.
Sweet. Sweet rum.
Well, not even. It was more the rum got me after about I think
rum is
7
a sugar drink. It's
yeah.
so good.
Didn't remember going to sleep. Anyway, so scrolling Facebook and I laugh when I see these stories. Although, I'm sure someone's going to look this up and find out that it is real or something, but you'll laugh at it. Anyway, so, and it could be fake because now the entire internet and social media is filled with just clickbait nonsense that is made by AI.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, Daniel, you were joking around about all the AI veteran pictures that are like.
It's one of my favorites. So you got to tread lightly though, because like you will get people that because they're just like they'll get mad. They're like, oh, I don't care if it's not real. It's about soldiers, so you can't make fun of it. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Well,
don't take all my fun away.
We're saying that it's just AI generated.
Like you shouldn't believe.
Clickbait,
you shouldn't believe that that's real.
So anyway, I see this because I get a lot of sports stuff.
You don't get the soldier ones?
I get the soldier ones.
The best soldier one was the one that said, "I ain't got no money and me ugly." That was look for that one. That one's funny.
So here's a story about a gentleman in Detroit.
Yeah.
I guess maybe where is this at? Is this a college? No, this is University of Kentucky.
Okay.
Men's basketball.
Okay.
Sorry. I saw blue and immediately thought Detroit, but this is University of Kentucky men's basketball. And it's a picture of a man. Sorry, I'll show you in the chat room. So it's
it's a picture of a what appears to be is that tattoos on the man's face, or is that
That's what I thought too. I'll show the chat room.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'll show the chat room.
Yeah. It looks like
it looks like he's in blackface.
It kind of looks like Teddy Swims in blackface.
Yeah, or tattoos, like a Hawaiian design tattoos.
Yeah, he looks like Polynesian Teddy Swims.
Yeah.
Sitting with a young child.
Yeah. And then so I'm like I stop and I just scan the story to see what it is, right? And the story is they're like Kentucky coal miner wanted to take his son to the basketball game but didn't have any time to clean up after work. So he just, went straight from work to, and he's sitting there with so much.
He's still got the light on his head. He's got a candle on the top of his head.
Yeah. So
he's got a canary in a cage.
By the way,
it's not real.
This story could be completely fake or whatever.
Fake.
But
it's got to be fake.
But even if it was real and that guy's sitting there looking like that, he could have washed his face in the bathroom.
I'd help him. I'd get him some paper towels.
He didn't have to go, you know what I'm saying? Like you could splash him water and get the coal dust off.
I don't think that's how coal works.
And even if it is, and you did have to take your son to the Kentucky basketball game after a long day of coal mining, and you're while you're hey, you get your first couple beers, you go.
You can wash your face with beer. You can splash a little beer in your face.
Hey, you're in the bathroom. You can rub your face off with some paper towels. You don't have to just be like, I'm leaving it on.
Oh, we have a chat room listener, PP Sprinkles, in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We're live every single day. He says, my grandfather was a coal miner in Kentucky, and he never looked like that. There you go.
So I was Ross. I was just showing Daniel a picture of this story I saw.
It looks like Teddy Swims too. It looks like everything is a pander post, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Or especially on Facebook. I don't think you get as much. That's why people are gravitating out of Facebook so much. Like mad exodus, right? We're all on TikTok and Instagram because there's less of the weird, virtue signaling, odd AI. Weird stuff. It's weird.
You can also get shadow banned on Facebook real easy for nothing. I used to get real good traction on Facebook, and I don't anymore because I started a podcast. And then they were like, "Hey, pay us to advertise your podcast." I was like, "Nah, I'll just do organic like I've been doing." They're like, "All right, you're throttled back, dude." I swear to God. I swear to God.
That's extortion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like that. If I was Mr. Book, I'd be like, let's extort these people.
But we know you'd never be Mr. Book. That'd be the worst name for you.
I'm like, let's
hey, everybody, Mr. Book can't read.
Let's threaten to keep their free speech down unless they pay us. That makes sense. It does.
Well, that's how they were going to do the internet for a while, right?
Yeah.
With the net neutrality, everybody was worried about be careful because if you're not one of the big ones, and the Tom and Dan website will be throttled, which our website's barely working as it is.
So, and we are in the process of fixing it.
We are.
We
and the
had
app.
some problems.
And the app. Man, Matthew is on it. He's such a good man. We're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Speaking of coal mines, when do you think the canary in the coal mine thing was invented?
Do you know?
I do. Roughly.
Okay, great.
I have a rough idea.
Also, a wonderful and one of my favorite songs by the Police. Honestly. If you like the band The Police, Canary in a Coal Mine, that's your song. Go find it right now, listen to it, and then come back to the show.
And
I like that one about the Loch Ness Monster.
The point of the Canary was that once carbon dioxide levels got to a certain point or whatever, some toxic gas,
it would go.
The birds would die
first. There's toxic gas.
And then that would signal the miners, like, get the hell out of there, right?
Yeah. Because it's smaller, got a little constitution. If it fell off its little perch, you'd know. That,
okay.
And by the way, they would try to revive those canaries. The miners were attached to them.
Yeah.
So they had,
that's your bro. That guy's got your back, dude.
They had little respiratory devices that they could pump the stuff out of their lungs, little tiny little lungs.
I like that.
The guy in blackface would give CPR to a canary.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not on my bingo card. Guy in blackface giving CPR to canary.
So when did they bring him in?
I guess I assumed that was the second the guy invented the pickaxe that they were taking a bird down in the mine with him. That's kind of just how I'd always
Please
assumed.
don't tell me 1985.
No, it was right after World War One.
Oh, really?
World War One, I brought a book about the elements on the cruise ship because that's the kind of book you bring on the cruise ship.
Yes, you bring a smart book.
World War One is when they rolled out all those poison gases, for example, chlorine, an element, and the same guy, I think the same guy that was kind of involved with poison gases for the war. He figured out if you guys took a canary down in the coal mine, that'd probably signal that you should get the hell out of there if it fell off the perch.
I like that.
My great grandfather
was a canary.
No.
Oh my God, that's insane, dude. Oh my God, does that mean you're Asian?
It explains Tom's feet.
That means Tom's Asian.
Got poisoned by gas in World War One.
Jesus.
Wow.
And way to bring the canary story down.
And then now. Could have been a van talking.
Oh wait, it could be a lie. One of the van lies.
Because I'm sure a lot of this is all tall tales. Because I'm now that I'm thinking about it, I've always believed that story. But my pop told me my dad he was gassed. He had lung problems because he had exposed to mustard gas in World War One, whatever.
Our kids are gonna be like, my daddy had lung problems because he vaped all the time. No wars.
That is one of the ones I'm more than willing to believe, actually, because a lot of guys did come back with bursted lung, because the reason that gas started getting used so much is because some German guy figured out, chlorine, for example. He's if we they were working on making shells out of it, nerve gases that they could shell behind the lines. It was really hard figuring out how to pressurize it. It was hard.
Yeah.
So this German guy figured out if we just put a bunch of chlorine tanks in a row, 2,000 of them in a row, and we wait for the wind to be right, and we turn it on, it'll just blow over the battlefield. And technically, you can't use gas that's going to kill people, but technically you could live through a chlorine gassing. It's not great for you, but you can live through it. So it's acceptable by the rules of war. So they were gassing the hell out of people. And some guys would choke to death on their own fluids because it's really bad. Some guys would just go home with permanent lung damage because you can survive it.
Could you even comprehend how horrible being a soldier in World War One?
Well, I'm already fighting, and then wait, what's that? I think I smell chlorine. Oh, we're all it's a lot of chlorine. It's all chlorine, guys.
Some of these accounts, dudes, you're on the battlefield, and you just see this 7-foot tall wall of fog rolling towards you, and you're like, "What's that?" There's no getting away from it.
Man.
Yeah,
and you're living through it. So
And
you just kind of
yes.
sit there, and because they would do it to weaken, right? And even their own guys. It's,
and that's actually technically worse than killing a guy in war, is leaving a wounded guy for the other team to deal with.
I mean, and just the rats and the disease.
Don't bring up rats. What are you doing?
And you're just waiting for the next wave to run out and get mowed down by machine gun fire. Fall and barbed wire. As you're getting what the hell?
Personally, for me, my worst feature of World War I would be the mud. The ground was so churned up. It was so wet. And
Limp Bizkit's playing or throwing it everywhere.
There's accounts of dudes marching by, dudes just sinking into the mud, dying, and nothing could be done. It was
Hold on.
mud.
Drowning in Mud is underrated.
Also a good band name.
That's an underrated. That's an underrated way to go, dude. That's terrifying. Which would you rather, burned alive or drown in mud? I don't know.
I think I heard that in
Dan Carlin.
Dan Carlin's podcast.
Oh God,
Dan Carlin.
I mean, insane. And to think that we're somehow even close to but think about the trauma of generations of people. Everybody's mentally messed up for life after going to see it. Anyway.
Side note: is quicksand still a thing?
It was never
When
a
I
thing.
was a kid,
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I was a kid, it was a thing.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I
yeah.
was a kid, you were terrified of it. You'd look for it. You'd pretend it was there. You'd play Pitfall, the video game.
Yeah.
You'd try to avoid it. Quicksand was everywhere. It was in every cartoon.
Yeah. And
Everything. Every comedy skit, they do a comedy skit with Quicksand. Then it was in Crocodile Dundee.
yeah,
But it's not a thing?
lazy writers. No, I guess it does exist, but no one
Rare.
ever.
But it's rare.
It's rare, and no one ever falls in it, and it doesn't do nothing.
It's like slow and dramatic. The world's got so many worse ways to do it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
fall
yeah.
in like one of those hot springs at
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, you're
done.
fine. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
done.
Oh, my God, I
There's no
read-
throwing you a vine to get out of that.
I read
you know?
that when there was a lady, I think it was a sister and a brother, and the lady slipped and fell in, and it was so hot, it just vaporized her.
Yeah,
Bones and all.
Yeah. Happens all the time.
This took a happy turn.
I know, yeah.
Wow.
What's got us a world with Cruise, World War I gassing,
And quicksand.
boiling to death. All right.
Drowning in mud.
Let's play some voicemails.
All right, buddy.
Anything else happen over the weekend while we were
If
gone?
we get a voicemail from a guy trapped in mud, that'd be great.
Help. I'm trying to think of anything like really crazy happen over the weekend.
I'm
No.
still-
How would we know? We were drunk.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm still trying to consume what happened over the, on NFL Sunday and stuff, and but it doesn't,
Well, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
I'm exhausted from the. I am first surprised that some of our listeners can party that much and continually do it day by day. Like that's impressive to me. Like you're,
I can't do
middle-aged and you are partying till 2, 3 in the morning every single night, and like that, because I stayed up late some nights, but nowhere close to some of these people. Like that's a different genetics, right? Like the alcohol is affecting them different, or they have.
I think they're younger.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at least for me, that's how I explain all of it away. Because I feel
They're-
like I'm one
They're
of the.
older than me. A lot of these guys.
Yeah, but I can't. I just can't do it. I can't. I don't bounce back at all. I don't bounce back.
I can't speak for everybody, but Red Bull was included on this drink package, and I applied liberally.
No, okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I like Red Bulls, but for some reason I drink so many of them that my you-know-what goes inside my body. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, it says right on the can.
Yeah, I think that's a caffeine. There's some sort of thing. All right, let's try a couple of voicemails. We don't know where these are going to go, but we'll give them a shot.
What's going on, guys? I'm listening to the Friday Free Show. It's the one where you guys lost internet for a couple hours. Crystal was saying that she saw some Castleberry roadside juice. I've seen that guy, or I saw him a couple days ago, and I stopped because it's hot and I work outside, and the juice looked good. It looked real good, and he had a tent, and he had all the what do you call it, the coolers and everything, and pineapples, the whole 9 yards outside, music going. It was freaking cool. And I asked how much for a drink, and he told me $14. And I was like, cool, I'll take one. Let me go to my car and get some money. And I thought $14 was a lot of money, so I just got in my car and left.
Awesome.
I've been saving this voicemail
Love
for
it.
a very long
That
time.
juice or the juice was $14.
The fact that he just walked, he's like, okay, let me go get my
love
wallet. And he did the Tom. He goes and gets in his car. And he just cranks it up. And he just drive away. I love that. There's nothing I love more than you wanting to get out of there and you lie to the guy. And then you just haul ass out of there.
So,
Why is that so funny to me?
so who is this juice for? Like,
Yeah, $14 a cup. Oh my god.
yeah, like,
Well, the counter was that okay, if you're just following this, there is a parking lot in Castleberry that has been commandeered by a rogue juice man and also a rogue elephant ear lady.
oh, my wife did research and found out who owned, like that.
Yeah.
The property was recently sold.
Yes.
And then some rich lady, or I think it's a rich lady in Winter
Yeah.
Park, owns the property. I think she's renting it out to the juice
To
man
anyone.
and the elephant ear or whoever.
To
Yeah,
anyone. It's
the highest
Juice Man.
bidder.
It's Juice Man and Elephant Ear Lady. By the way, the elephant ears are between, I think they were $14, so that would make sense. I think when Maisie and Andrea got the elephant ear, which, by the way, one of the greatest restaurants in Castleberry is the Elephant Ear Lady. Not a sponsor, but I love her. And the elephant ear was good, dude.
So we
Fresh oil.
We go to this food truck roundup in the Milk District. Like it's every Tuesday. They call it Tasty Tuesday. Up behind Sportsline and Bullenbush and stuff. They put a bunch of food trucks.
Tasty Tuesday rocks, dude.
And then you can go get like tacos at a food truck, or like my personal favorite. This little bao truck is amazing. Hot Asian buns is called.
Oh yeah,
so good. Shrimp bao, it's just 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. So you get like your bao, and then you can go to Bullenbush get a pint and sit at the bar and drink bao and drink a pint. It's really fun.
I don't bow to nobody.
So this is where the pudding queen is. I told you guys about the pudding queen.
Oh yeah.
But they rotate in and out, So pudding queen wasn't there one week, and it was like a cookie truck.
Yeah.
And so I went up and I was looking at the cookies, and the cookies look really good, but there's no pricing, which like to me red flag immediately, And so I'm like, hey, how much are your cookies? And it was like I don't remember exactly, but it was like a $15 a cookie situation. It was like that cookie looks good, and you've done a lot of work to it. But holy cow, 15 for a cookie. So like,
yeah.
But at this point, I'm engaged with the man. We're staring in each other's eyes, and I'm like, how much for the cookies? Like, it's $15 a cookie, sir. And I'm like, oh yes, these cookies obviously are worth that. Very good. I am.
But I'm going to back away slowly.
No. And I'm like, man, I'm just trying to decide. And then I kind of looked at the side. I was like, oh, my wife is waving to me. I'm going to see what kind of cookies she wants. Took off.
Yeah. That's a great Ross. That's even better than what this guy did. I do that to Andrea all the time. I'll get myself in a situation where the guy he's getting the cookie and putting it in a bag. And I'm like, oh, hold on. What's that, Andrea? And she's not even with me. And I'm just running.
Yep.
Yeah, well done.
Well, because there's two things you can do, and the opposite of that is to complain about someone's prices.
Oh, I hate it when people do
openly
that.
because it's like this business.
God damn! And then you're still going to buy
mad
it.
at it.
Don't put me through that. If I'm the $15 cookie guy, don't say, God damn, it better be good.
Absolutely
God,
not.
don't put me through that.
If you think your cookie's worth that, more power to you. And this guy was selling cookies. Their cookies were moving.
Right.
So I have no complaints. It's just a little bit out of my cookie price range.
Yeah. I think you did it right. I think without doing our good friend Jim Colbert would have been like, whoa, $15. That's insane. Oh, that's highway robbery. My dad used to say that this is one of the worst.
What is this, China?
Yeah, exactly. My dad, I love my dad so much, and there's very few things that he did that would embarrass me. Very few. But he would walk up to a place, like a meat man at a farmer's market or something. And they're like, sir, we have fresh steaks here. These fillets are $50. My dad's like, God damn, that's highway robbery. Highway robbery. My dad loved highway robbery.
Yeah. I think
never robbed on the highway.
An old school mentality. If someone is overcharging for goods or services,
you have to yell at them about the price
because that's like almost what is it called when you like during a hurricane you charge $80 a bag
gouging.
of ice, price gouging. It's like so people are like I think older people in their mind when someone charges a lot for something they think that's gouging and they get angry at them because they in their mind
they don't understand the process.
It's like this is a free
it's a
market.
handmade cookie. The guy was up all night. I don't know.
There's a million ways to buy a cookie. You can go to
Choose
Walmart.
one.
Like Walmart's right over there. They've got cookies for 1 penny. You can buy it.
It's all the worst ingredients in the world.
And this business is they're charging $15, but you have your options of cookies. It's not. Don't get mad if someone's charging a lot of money. It's not like you're in the desert and this is the only cookie available.
My dad also had some variations. I'm unlocking memories here. He had some variations that I'm remembering now that as I grew older, his complaints got worse. Like he'd be like, "You didn't even kiss me on the mouth first." That's another one. And then that eked its way into, "Well, you did it without lube."
Yeah,
he had the without lube, which is the harshest one he got to is when he's acting as if him and the cookie man were having gay sex. I'm like, that is not. What, Dad? Please stop. Please stop.
That $15 cookie was sodomizing you.
That's what my dad thought.
Mentally.
Yeah.
It's
With
like
no lube.
That's pretty.
And he was also letting me know, and it took me a while to figure this out, that my dad
aggressive.
But it was also his way of saying I was okay with the cookie.
Because
I still went through with it, right?
Yeah,
and then when I figured out what lube was, it blew my mind.
I just would have appreciated a little bit of frosting.
Exactly.
So,
oh my God.
I don't know what made me think of this, but this is totally
I can tell you what we were just talking about.
Sorry. So, we're on the cruise. I'm talking to my buddy Porno Joe and his wife, and I
love Porno Joe.
Remind me to tell my Porno Joe story after this.
Yeah, and his wife just became a doctor. So congratulations to her.
Holy smokes, that's awesome.
Which is by far the most successful of all of our friends are.
That's wild. For some reason, I wanted to scream Dr. Boobies.
Yeah. But it's one of those.
She's hot, Like, am I allowed to say that, Dr. Boobies?
It's more of like
She's beautiful.
What is it called when you teach children how to talk and walk again? It's like
daycare.
Therapy. It's not like
I said daycare.
It's not like it's not a real doctor.
Yeah. Real doctors do blood. Real blood.
I said that to Punchline. He's the only one that listens. Anyway, so
blood doctor or fake doctor?
So I was talking to them, and they're like, "Hey, do you know? Like, we all went to Killian High School in Miami, right?
That's what's wrong."
And
mascot.
And so the Killian Cougars. So
hey.
Oh, you didn't spell it with a K, did you? Oh, please tell me it wasn't with a K.
Now your wife is a Killian Cougar.
So we
right?
Yeah.
She should get a shirt that says
That's
that.
true.
I should make a shirt that says that.
Absolutely.
And give them out to all the wives.
Spell it with a K.
So then they were like, do you know there's like 500 students total in the whole school now? And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, no way. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, my graduating class was like over 1,000. We had like 4,000 people in the
I was
school
700.
or whatever.
I was 700 in DeLand.
Yeah. And so I'm doing the math. And since like I've driven by there a bunch of times, like they build extra bigger buildings, and there's like a whole like where the driver's ed used to be. There's a whole giant building now.
Yeah.
I assumed
that's the AI building. People don't drive now.
Back to being mad at math. I'm like, well, everything. There's more people than there used to be. Like more, like people are having maybe less kids
but
now.
School is down. People don't like school anymore.
But then why are they building buildings for the school?
Yeah. So I thought like, oh, now they have a way bigger. I assumed like I graduated in 2000. It's 2024 that there would be more kids. That's the math that I thought. And they were like, no. There are less than 1,000. Like they were saying like 500-600 total students in the entire school. And then I'm like, no. And so
are there other schools around there?
Do they build new ones?
They started, like, I guess, down in Miami, especially, and because of the property values.
They're just not teaching kids anymore. Just go run in the streets, boys.
Yeah.
They started
We're going to teach you how to wheelie a motorcycle in rush hour traffic.
They started some charter school program, and then parents got to choose where they, guess their tax money. I don't know how it works. It's some charter school thing, but that dispersed the public school population, and then it's plummeted to the point
where
where
change the districts.
Where I have no idea how it works, but I guess, and I'm like, that is crazy because that's something I never would have expected or thought it would happen.
Charter or magnet schools?
I think they said charter.
Okay.
Maybe it's a mixture of both. I'm not, like I didn't start diving into this, but then I started thinking, I was like, I wonder if that's gonna like be how other cities do it. I'm like, are we going to have like the populations of high schools go down?
Okay. To go along with what you're saying, I found out something interesting about this school that Maisie goes to is that
there's more options.
Well, they won't build any more buildings because this area, when they put the school in, they were like, it's going to stay this size.
Capped, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, we will build no more portables because they don't want that. So they were like, you get this, and this is how many you can have, and that won't change.
That's the kind of stuff, though, that when 5,000 more kids are in this area, it just goes out the window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how you get into trouble.
Yeah.
But then, and then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, everywhere I used to, like, when I grew up in Miami, I was obviously different in the 80s and 90s. And now all the houses in every place in Miami are $700,000 at the minimum. You know, like the flat roof 2-2 you live in Kendall is now $750,000. So like you're living in a $750,000 house. Like I imagine that the people that maybe grew up there have sold it to multiple times or whatever, and now they're paying $750,000 worth of property tax, and like you could afford that payment. So there's like a crazy amount of tax money in the system, and then it's diversifying the amount of schools everybody's going to, and like public school attendance is going down, or the buildings are becoming empty, which is I didn't ever foresaw that
weird.
coming.
Some public schools. Was your high school a piece of crap? High school? Like I went to a trash high school. I'm willing to admit it, but
what were you like, Middle Georgia?
Troop County Comprehensive High School, baby. Yeah.
I don't know. It was surrounded by like the Falls area and like rich people back in the 90s.
Okay.
I thought like
Yeah.
but it wasn't. I don't know what grade of high school
But I
was on
did
mid-range.
major in lunch. So.
Hey, that's good. Write that down. That's really good.
Sorry.
No,
let's do
it's-
another voicemail.
It is interesting to think about that because, like Ross is saying, it's like around here they're already telling us no, it can't be more. But you're right. Like, how do you control that?
Well, we do have a system, and I know so little about this for a parent who's put 3 kids through the school system. It's sick, but they do have a system where, like, if you don't like your school, you can apply for transfers.
Yeah.
And within, like, charter school's a different thing. That's like you pay for it and get the money that should have gone to your kid's school and pay for it there. I don't think we do that in this town, but we do have magnet schools. Like, if you think your kid's like really smart at science and technology, there's a STEM magnet school, and as a professional performer, I disagree with this. They also have an arts and theater magnet school.
Yeah.
If you think your kids are going to succeed in arts and theater, which they're not, you can send them to that school.
Yeah.
And,
Maisie already wants to go to one of those.
I mean, well, maybe Maisie with this dancing thing maybe should, but like, there's no way. It can
We have some
well.
of her friends that are older did that, where they're like really serious about the dancing.
Yeah,
kinda like her, and then they go to the it's almost like a fame type school where it's like they lean on the art, and I'm like, oh God,
Well,
please don't choose the arts. My God,
Dude,
why?
It makes sense though if you think about it, like just the spread of and the access that we have to information and the access we have to listen to other parents talk if you're interested in your kids' education. Like that was in the 80s and 90s, it was just your friends and family and your neighbors. And then then you made all your decisions based on like 10 people you knew. Now you can see the culmination of thousands of people that live in your society and their opinions on things, and then now all the different options available.
With the school stuff, that you'd be startled how often it comes down to like there's a meeting that you have to know about by word of mouth to go to, or you're just left on the outside. It still is like that.
But as far as
sorry, you didn't do the technical weirdo thing. Yeah.
Anyway, it's crazy.
Let's try this one right here. We had people that were weighing in. I think I asked the question, actually. I was like, who is the most famous celebrity that's been arrested?
Ooh.
Tom, Dan, BDM Mike, listening to ACT capable the whole time. Dan asked, celebrity cop altercation. O.J. Simpson.
I didn't think about
BDM
that.
for life. Love you guys.
I didn't think about the O.J. Simpson one. I forget that O.J. was famous because he was... because he continued after the murders for so long being around that I kind of pushed him out of my brain, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he is not a part of my, you know what I mean? Like,
I might have a better one.
I'm sure. I'm glad that I want better ones. Like, we did Mel Gibson. He was on the list.
Yeah. And we were kind of saying like pulled over or cop interaction, not necessarily like murder.
Yeah.
But
I do like a roadside. Like this started me thinking. I was trying to find the Dan Newland video of him on the roadside with when he pulled up behind his girlfriend when I think his girlfriend at the time was getting a DUI. I tried to find that.
That's a good video.
It is a great video.
Justin Timberlake was pretty big recently.
And he got super special treatment, did he not?
Yeah.
He pled guilty, and then he lost his license in New York, and he has to pay a $400 fine.
I think he just has really good lawyers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he
he's
threw
rich.
a bunch of money at it. Yeah. How about this guy? I think pound for pound, maybe more famous than anybody on the list so far. Muhammad Ali refused to be drafted and got arrested for it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. That's a good one. Somebody said Robert Downey Jr. That's a good one. Somebody said Tim Allen, although I don't think we knew of Tim Allen when he was going through all this cocaine stuff.
It's true. That was before he was famous.
Yeah, like you have that much
retroactive.
With him with the mustache, and I'm like, well, that's not the Tool time. That's some 70s porn man.
It's pretty impressive that he went through that and then was able to make a career, and no one
career.
No one brought it up or didn't like hurt him in his like.
Dude,
it was really where people could look stuff up. Like I mean, the urban legend was he got arrested for coke, but you had no internet to look it up, so like you're like, my uncle's drunk, he's lying.
He's secretly, I think, a really good businessman for his career because he's highly conservative right now, Tim Allen. So, but he has a show. That last show he did was called like Last Man Standing. So it was basically Tool time, but it was like with a little bit more of a conservative edge. Like he was playing like some, it was kind of came out when Roseanne was kind of doing her like more conservative version of Roseanne, right?
Yeah.
But the show worked. Jonathan Taylor Thomas guested on it. It's still going. I think it's in syndication because he just kind of kept his head down, did his thing, and then just kind of like I'm just doing my thing, you know.
And he wasn't just like using coke, right? He was like importing.
I think he was selling.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
there was
thought
like
too.
a lot of it. It wasn't like it
Yeah.
wasn't on the side of the streets with like little amounts. Like it was
Yeah.
like a kilo or something,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. There's been like weird things though. Like I won't say this person's name because no one will know it, and it'd be like digging up a corpse. But there was a singer in here one time that we had at the old studio, and she's a reggae singer.
Okay.
And she came in here and performed a song. You may have been there, Ross. And we were like, holy smokes, this is awesome. And she, like, friends with all of our reggae guys, if that gives you the vibe.
Yeah.
And then, like, later she left, and then I, like, looked her up, and she has a very unique name. And when I looked her up, she was, like, in prison for, like, importing just tons of heroin. I mean,
All
so
right.
much heroin. And I was like, whoa, my God, you were in prison. You weren't even in jail. You were in, like, prison.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. I was like just sitting there having a conversation with you, and then I look up your past. And like, I guess you don't really know.
That's how you end up in the arts, not going to an arts high school.
Yeah. I've been telling Maisie to start selling drugs,
dealing,
but
dude.
she
Yeah.
didn't want to do it. I tried to sell some drugs on the boat.
Some kids aren't willing to do
She
the work.
didn't want to do it.
Mhm.
You want to do another one here,
Let's do,
buddy?
yeah.
All right, we did.
Oh,
Celebrity.
my Porno Joe story real quick. I saw Porno Joe in the ocean, and I went up and I was like, hey, this listener came up to me and was like, I met a friend of Tom's from Miami, and he said his name was Joe. And then after a minute, I was like, oh my God, are you Porno Joe? And that guy told me that story. So I saw Porno Joe in the ocean, and I went up and I told him that story. I was like, hey, the listener came up and said, oh, I met Porno Joe. It was really exciting. And that guy was like, that's a really good story about Porno Joe. My name's Steve.
Yeah, remember you told me about that at the bar. Yeah. And you know what happens too? You just reminded me, like, if you like people will, because we're obviously on the cruise with other people that are not on our particular cruise, so there are thousands of other people on this cruise.
Thousands.
And so unless you have a lanyard, like a Tom and Dan lanyard, I sometimes, unless I recognize you and like I know you from somewhere, like
Tom and Dan shirt.
I
hat.
don't know. So there was a lady sitting on the beach in our area, the beach
with her
party.
top off.
And then she was, it seemed like, looking at me, and then like,
what'd you do?
Like saying, like,
you want a picture?
and then
I'll come by you.
and then I heard her mouthing something, and then I was like,
Get away from me, creep! You have a boner.
and then I didn't have a lanyard, but then I was like, maybe they took it off in the ocean, like we're at the beach, like I don't know. So I'm like, I'm trying to do the math, and I don't want to be rude and just keep walking. I'm like, oh, this person, so I'm waving. I'm like,
So you
hey.
start rubbing sunscreen on their back.
Hey, I'm like walking toward, and then as I'm walking towards this lady, she's looking at me like she's like, what the hell are you doing? And then I realized, like, oh.
She pulls out a taser.
And then I'm like, we need to have some sort of wristband.
Sorry, ma'am. I thought
Wait a minute,
connection.
we have a lanyard. What's wrong with the lanyard?
But we need a wristband that you
So
can't
now
take
you're
off.
anti-lanyard?
So I can look at the
Okay.
wristband, because the lanyard goes on and off. I don't know.
Ideally,
all right.
Tony can implant some kind of tracking device under the skin, and Tom has like a readout on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what they do with the cruise, right?
Sure.
Like on one of the restaurants, they kind of had what you're describing, Ross. In the Mexican restaurant, you'd sit down and they'd pull up your iPad. They know your room, and then they have your pictures there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he already knew, like, Andrea's name, my name, Maisie's name. I don't like that. Ask my name. I don't like it when you have all this stuff on the pad. I don't like it.
When we were getting on the ship, they look at that little security picture you took at your house that looks awful, just like so gross and horrible. And the lady was like, "Hey, this is a bad picture. Do you want to retake it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So she retook it for me, and then she turned to my wife, whose picture was as bad or worse than mine, and just said, "All right, you're good to go, ma'am." I think they're not allowed to ask the ladies if they want to retake their picture
really?
because it looks bad. There probably was like an incident where but with dudes apparently it's fine.
Like if that was a customer service technique, they were trained to like
Always
do
ask
that.
the men, never ask the ladies.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
the
yeah.
lady can lean over and say, like, can you do mine too? But only if she suggests it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Let's do one more. I think this is from our friend, the historian.
Hey, guys. This question is for most likely Dan. I assume he'll have the answer more than Tom. But it's about radio and the history of it. When I was little, my grandfather in his big Buick white Grand Marquis rosary and cross hanging from the front window, we would drive all the way down to Florida from upstate New York. It takes about 21 hours or so. And we would rotate between three things. It was Marty Robbins, the Platters, and, some Italian opera in there as well. but also the AM radio. And the AM radio consisted of 2 stations. One was the Rosary, which was this chorus of, I assume, nuns, Catholic Rosary, nuns kind of droning on endlessly, doing the Rosary, I think, at the top of every hour. And it's almost creepy in a way. Like if you were to listen to it at night or something, it could be put over a horror movie trailer. But the second, in getting to my question, is always like a soft-spoken, possibly older gentleman having a very quiet conversation, and it sounds like you tune in and he's already talking like he's mid-conversation. You can never hear who he's actually talking to. It sounds like you're just hearing one end of a phone call very softly. And I can put on AM radio right now and still hear that same station, and I've always wondered, who the heck is listening to that, and who the heck is that guy talking to?
It's an interesting question because I am not familiar with that.
I have a theory, and it reminded me of a conversation I had with BDM Link.
Okay,
Link
yeah.
and Jennifer.
We have a monkey who's a listener.
It's a perfect name that he is a watchman.
I know, right? Isn't that the greatest name?
What's
he's
the
also
chances
like
of
the
that?
nicest man in the world. He's such a good dude.
Tom, what do you think a link does in a clock?
What? Well, I know it's part of the band, but it's
yeah.
clock adjacent.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's clock adjacent.
I'll give it. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
If his
But
name
I
was
do like Ross being tough on you.
If his name was like Cog or Gear or something, it would make way more
Cog.
sense.
Let's start calling him Cog. I mean, Cog is a better name. Can we get his name legally changed to Cog? Jennifer and Cog.
Listen, if I can rename Busdecker Thebus on this cruise, I think anything can happen.
Yeah, Thebus. All hail Thebus.
So I think, and I would bet a high amount of money that this is true, that at a certain time in AM radio, that they just figured out that if a smooth, like even-keeled talking voice, mellow person, that people would listen to go to sleep. Right? So, they'd put it on as kind of ASMR in the background. Because I used to listen to talk radio when I was a kid and just put it on when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just hearing someone talk.
Yeah, I would go to sleep to Passion
on.
Phones. I would go to Passion Phones. And then Passion Phones would go into, was it Art Bell?
Probably. Art Bell's always on.
I think it was
late.
Art Bell. And Art Bell is what would have been my version of this. It was just like a weird old man talking about conspiracies.
Calling on the lunatic line.
Yeah, quietly. And then I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm too dumb for that, I think.
So over time, I guess, this guy's voice, people just used to tune in to hear him talk so they can go to sleep, which, by the way, is the biggest insult as an entertainer.
It is. People say it to me all the time. I'll get an email once a week and people say, I love using a corporate time with Tom and Dan to go to sleep. And then I write them back. I go, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You should start setting off a cannon mid-show just to prevent that.
We should have a wake-up noise, right? Once a show.
Some symbols.
Be like a.
So why this reminded me of the conversation I had with Link is that he told me on the cruise, he's like, every night before I go to sleep, I listen to the same NASCAR race, the audio only, to help me go to sleep.
What?
Yeah, I said,
this guy is this Cog is a lunatic. That's the
what I
dumbest
screamed.
and craziest thing I've ever. That's psycho material.
That's
dude.
what I said. I was
That's
psycho.
psycho. That is crazy.
No, I watch He-Man every night to go to sleep, but there's 85 different episodes.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with I watched an episode of Cheers every night. That is normal behavior. And I listen to the same audio only NASCAR from '85.
And he's like, I know every turn and every every.
So there's
turn.
comfort.
And
so there's comfort in that.
Yes, and then there must be a psychology bit,
Interesting.
and then
that's
routine. ASMR, right?
We crave routines, right? We really do.
Especially a guy who disassembles and puts clocks back together.
That's especially a clock psycho.
I gotta go to bed. Gotta put on mine. Does he have to have it on at the same time, or can he vary his bedtime?
I don't know. I didn't go that far, and I just screamed psycho.
Does he fall
after 10 rum and cokes?
And then you moonwalk out.
I wonder, does his mind wait for the end of the race and then just automatically fall asleep? Or is it turn 5 every time he falls asleep?
Yeah, but so I imagine
he's got to call in and leave a voicemail and explain the NASCAR race audio.
So I wonder if there would be if Jack was looking for a way just to make the ratings go up, just hire someone 10 o'clock on Real Radio.
I'm glad you said 10 o'clock.
I don't know. And by hire, I mean free. And I mean AI. Just get a soft, spoken AI.
Everybody, it's me, AI, and I'm soft. I'm gonna read you a book.
Because you can get AI to talk for hours, right?
Hey, guess what? You could get me to talk for hours for way less than an AI subscription. I'll read the dictionary. I'll just say, aardvark, a large land mammal of Africa.
And just get people to like. Although now with like I'm sure everybody's got their little routine and their.
You always forget about these people that don't have smartphones. Just listen to radio in their truck, dude. They're out there. They listen. They still have tapes.
I just asked AI to do what you're saying, and let's see if it can do it.
Okay. But it's going to do it in the stereotypical voice.
Its AI voice. People like that AI voice. The one that I have.
Can you make it change its voice? Can you hey, sounds smoother?
You used to be able to do that, but I'm afraid that what is it? The AI company that remember that I don't think you can change the voice anymore after they cloned Scarlett Johansson's voice without her permission, and then it became like a lawsuit. So I think you only have one here. This is what I got from it. Let's see what it does. It's wrote a story it was going to read to us. And I said, could you pretend to be a DJ and read us a story?
Okay.
And it was like, sure, I can put on my DJ, I'll put on my...
All right, Dan, let me slip into my DJ persona. Good evening, Orlando. It's your boy, Hard Drive, coming at you live from the heart of the city on Real Radio 104.1. Grab your favorite snack, crank that dial up because I've got a little story to spin for you tonight. Sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey. So picture this. It's 1997, and I'm fresh out of high school, rocking my first gig as a late-night DJ on a tiny college station. Now, back in those days, the studio wasn't anything fancy, cramped, hot, and full of static. But to me, it was the Taj Mahal. It had character. It had the smell of stale...
This guy's sucking me in, right? That's pretty good.
You just tell to write it about your life.
I just said, tell me a story that you would say overnights if you were a radio DJ. This is what it came up with.
All right, Dan, let me...
Oh, it had to start at the beginning. Anyway, I
wasn't that how you started?
I kind of got sucked
college
into
radio?
I did, but it's like, oh my God, it's taking over my persona.
And did you tell it?
This guy's better than you.
This mother effer's stealing my identity.
Did you tell it to say Real Radio 104.1?
I did not, and that kind of freaked me out.
Real Radio
It did.
104.1 by
It
stuff.
did.
Interesting. This is
Really?
It has
truly
memory now.
the most powerful station in Orlando.
I don't want to freak you out. But it knows who both of you guys are, and it will correct in the show notes now. Like, it knows the Orlando Talk Show with Ross McCoy. It used to go Ross McGoy. Now it corrects everything. It knows who you are. It knows who your wife is. It knows your boy's name. It knows your voice now. It knows your voice now. It'll be like, oh, Ross is here, and it'll add you. It'll say Tom, Dan, Ross. It knows who you are now.
Hold on.
Strangely heartwarming.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, dude.
What if AI is talking to you when I leave here? I'm giving you advice. It's like, hey, Dan.
Yeah, just a little more poison in his drink. Just a couple more squirts, and he'll be out of here.
Are you sure you should trust that guy? It seems like he's up to something.
I thought it was weird. I saw Dan at Fight Club.
Why is he coming here so grumpy? It's a weird thing to do.
I will say the AI never grumpy. Never. Always has its like a good attitude. It's always happy. Yeah, it wrote a whole story that that's insane. Really, really cool.
Should we? Do we have to get out of here? Or do we have one
we do.
more?
We got to get out of here.
All right, Ross,
it's time.
are you doing any stand-up anywhere anytime soon?
Bull and Bush every Wednesday at 9 for open mic night, and then first and third Saturdays of the Bull and Bush. Come see that showcase.
There you go.
And also Tots with Ross, the Orlando talk show with Ross McCoy. If you want to hear awesome interviews with Ross and, local influencer, local celebrities.
National touring comedians. Friends of his show.
You guys.
Us, Mickey.
Yeah.
There's like a good group of people on there.
And you can go back and listen to all of them because they're not time sensitive. So it's Tots with Ross.
There you go.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Awesome. All right. Is it lunchtime?
Yeah.
And then we'll come back on Facebook?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, guys.